Welcome back, everybody.
Hi.
Another edition of the Warfighter Tobacco Podcast from our new lounge area. A little bit of improvements from last time. We
What are we always doing?
constantly improving our foxhole.
That's right.
We didn't know what we didn't know last time, but we learned.
That's right. If you don't learn something every day, it's kind of a wasted day.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, we're back again. It's Friday. Looking into the weekend. Can't wait for you guys.
Yeah. We are not looking into the weekend right now.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're getting there.
Oh, yeah.
I am smoking a 7.62 Field Sumatra in Toro. I haven't had one of these in a while. Usually I have one every morning, but it's probably been, I don't know, probably a month since I've had one of these.
Yeah.
And it is just as delicious as I remember.
They're such a good stick, man. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I tell people that's my one a day or one a year. Either way, it treats you very well.
Yeah.
So.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I planned on a Shade Lancero, but I called an audible and went with a redacted instead.
You did. Well, that's good. That brings me into something I want to talk about because...
Yeah.
So if you guys are listening to this the day it dropped, it is February 20th. That means you have roughly, 8.5 days until our next redacted day.
Yes.
So then our next redacted day is March 1st. So on March 1st and only March 1st, you too have a chance of getting a redacted cigar. So that's our redacted promo day. So for every 5 cigars you purchase, you get one free redacted cigar. And you don't have to do anything. We automatically do it when we fulfill it. So as long as that order comes through and the date, the timestamp when you place your order is between midnight and midnight on March 1st, we're going to put cigars in your order. If it comes in on March 2nd, sorry. If it comes in on February 28th, 29th, 30th, or 31st, not getting any. Only on March 1st.
You added a couple of days that...
If they try. That's
Well,
somebody
I think
like,
February
"Wait a
only has
minute."
28 days.
It does. Well, that's why if it's the 29th, 30th, or 31st, you don't get one either. Yeah. But that's our next redacted day. We don't have any events on the books right now that are coming up. There's 2 ticketed events that we have on the books so far this year. We have NFG at Underground Cigars in Fort Worth. That is in, I think, the middle of March.
Yes, I believe so.
And then we have My Old Kentucky Herf, which is Fat Ash Cigar Lounge, and that's in Ashland, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And that is coming up in May. And that is also a ticketed event. If you're in the area, you don't want to miss it. There aren't that many cigar lounges in that side of Kentucky, and they do a hell of a job with their event. It's a multi-vendor event. I think last year they had like 27 or 28 vendors or something like that. It was crazy. They rent out a huge area, pretty much fill it with cigars and swag and all that fun stuff. And they got great food, and it's just a really fun time. This year I think they're limiting it at like 250 tickets. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But if you're in the area in eastern Kentucky, around the Ashland area, check out Fat Ash, My Old Kentucky Herf. We'll be there. We should have some new cigars, and we'll have the redacted there as well. But that's as of right now, that's all we got on the books. We will have a whole bunch coming up soon.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the year, we're going to be stacked with events. I can already tell you. Speaking of events, there's an event in Esteli that wasn't a good one.
No.
One of Placencia's curing barns decided it wanted to catch on fire. So thankfully, I mean, if you want to look at it with a silver lining, thankfully this was a curing barn and not one of the factories. So the curing barns are used once the tobacco is harvested out of the fields, it gets, put in these curing barns to essentially turn that leaf from green to brown.
Yeah. It starts the fermentation process.
Yeah. So one of their barns, and they're big. I mean, these curing barns are huge.
Yes.
It caught on fire, and it wasn't just a fire. I mean,
No.
it was a fire.
Yeah, it was not a small one.
Yep. So in every article I've read and everything, it's unclear how much tobacco was actually lost, and the structure is pretty decently damaged. Placencia family put out a statement thanking the Esteli Fire Department and their team for everything that they did in response. If you've been to Esteli, you've been to Nicaragua, it's not like it is here in the States where, you have a firehouse on every corner or right down the street, and these guys are Johnny on the spot getting there to, put a fire out. Like, it probably took a minute for them to get there. But they did, and they did a good job. But yeah, so I do have a couple questions, maybe more statements than anything. Like, if you were hanging out around that barn when that happened, like, do you describe it in like thirds, like how it smells? Because it's just no, too soon. Okay.
I mean, I have a very dark sense of humor, so it's never too soon.
I mean,
But that's hilarious.
You and I have known each other for what, 12 years now? 10, 12 years at least. You know my sense of humor.
Yeah.
I held that one in. I
But,
did. I mean,
I mean, what?
at the end of the day, the great thing about this is the fact that nobody was actually hurt.
Yes.
Tobacco can be replanted, regrown, reharvested. Is it a setback? Yes. No one was hurt. So at least that's from what I've seen. So
Right.
The jokes, yeah. I mean, poke a little fun. I'm with you on that one. But I don't think that there'd be any flavor profiles on that. No.
There's too much. So, Placencia said that they have a
Insurance?
no, not really insurance, but they have like a immediate action plan if something like this happens,
Okay.
right? Like, they do so much production. Like, if you walk into a humidor, almost any humidor in the United States, somewhere probably 25 to 30% of that entire humidor was made at a Placencia factory.
Yeah.
They have locations in Nicaragua and
Yeah.
Honduras.
I mean, they've been growing tobacco for 170, 180 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But
so they make a lot of cigars for a lot of different brands. And so with it happening at a curing barn, that tobacco won't be in a cigar for years. So yes, it's, I mean, losing any amount of tobacco, especially to fire and the structure itself, it's horrible. But it's production-wise, that over the next, few years, hopefully that can be made up. That loss can be made up.
yeah.
And it's not going to be a big impact to anybody that was using the tobaccos that were curing in that barn.
No. Well, I mean, look at Alec Bradley. That was what? Was that 4 or 5 years ago? 5 years ago?
Yeah, but that was part of the factory, if I remember right.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, let me do a quick search.
Yeah. Something tells me that it was maybe it was a combination of.
I remember last year there was another factory fire, because I remember there was video footage of like the employees like throwing.
Aganorsa suffered fire at a tobacco processing facility. That was September 2024.
I think that's the one that we talked about when it happened. Yeah, because they were like throwing bales.
Placencia had a
out.
fire at one of their facilities in Nicaragua. That was in 23.
Jeez.
I mean, it happens, and there's
Is there like a commonality of how it happens?
So I've never heard what the ignition source was for these fires. Obviously, the rumor mill just goes crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But even when we were at Niska Proska last year, they were monitoring the temperatures inside those bales, And, some of those temperatures were getting 130, 140 degrees.
Yeah.
So,
but
like,
the good thing with those bills, though, is that there's a lot of moisture in it. So I don't think that would be, in some of these curing barns, sometimes when they're curing them, if the humidity level is too high, they'll light these small, like, smoldering fires at the base. And who knows? Somebody could have kicked it. It could have got knocked over. It could have got a little out of control. That whole structure is made out of wood.
Yeah.
It could have been an electrical fire. It could have been somebody smoking a cigarette. Like there's so many different things that could have happened. I don't even know if there's, they could have some lights in there. But I don't know. And then when it happens at the factory, right, it could be like somebody dumped an ashtray and they didn't know that somebody just put a cigar in it, and there might have been some sort of fuel in the trash can that they put it in. Or who knows, it could be an electrical issue. It could have been an accident. Like there's so much that could happen at a factory. And it's not like there's no OSHA.
That is
right. Not even there isn't even like a hint of like there isn't even a guy that's like, hey, this doesn't look like a good idea. Like but so there's no requirements for like sprinkler systems or things like that. Like obviously there's emergency exit signs and whatnot, but the prevention or the immediate action, it's not required. So if somebody has it, it's because they're like, oh, you know what, either it happened to them before or they're just like, hey, we're going to be ahead of the curve. But for the most part, there's not going to be a sprinkler system that's in one of these factories.
And they're all pretty old too, right?
Some of them are very new.
That is
very
that's
new.
true. Because someone was like about to have their grand opening when we went down February last year.
Yeah, that was a beautiful factory too. I can't remember who that was.
Yeah, it was closer to like
look it up,
downtown Esteli. But
that wasn't Noel, was it?
No. His was different.
That's right.
I can't remember who that was. It was one of the big names.
Yeah.
Legacy brands.
But I could see like if you were just building one within the last 5 years, being like, all right, we're going to take the necessary precautions to put sprinklers and stuff
especially
in, like,
with like all the stuff that's happened lately. Like fire-wise, and maybe it's just because of reporting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah.
Probably cost a whole lot less to throw the sprinklers in than replace the the entire factory.
Yeah. Well, the crazy part too is a lot of those places are made out of like brick.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah.
And then it's
or concrete,
and then the finish out is done by whatever else. But yeah.
Speaking of Nicaragua, you boys know where we were this day 1 year ago?
Nicaragua, yeah.
Yeah, we were on the beach.
We were.
Oh, we were?
Yeah, we were at San Juan del Sur.
Okay, so that means we were in Nicaragua
this past week.
And Esteli last week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do remember that. I remember texting the wife, "Happy Valentine's Day." I had some making up to do this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you cover down on that solidly?
I did. Got to celebrate my first Valentine's Day with the baby girl. So, got her flowers and all that good stuff. But
set that bar high, Dad.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I was just going through my memories, and 5 years ago.
Hey.
But there's snow on my truck here in Texas.
Yeah. The real snowmageddon.
The snowmageddon.
Snowpocalypse down here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All 4.5 inches
funny.
of it.
I guess I didn't post anything today. Last year.
Yeah. We were a little busy.
Yeah, no, that was a fun trip. That was a busy trip.
It was.
It's going to be interesting now because, I mean, you guys remember that drive from Esteli down to San Juan del Sur.
Yes.
And it took us like all day.
Yes.
They lowered the speed limits.
Oh, jeez.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because the speed limit down there when we were there last year was like 65K, wasn't it? 65, 70K.
So it used to be, I want to say it was like 95 on the highways.
Yeah. Which comes out to like 60 mile an hour, 55, 60.
Yeah. So now As of June 17th, 2025, Nicaragua implemented strict nationwide maximum speed limits to curb traffic accidents. You know, because maybe putting a stoplight every now and then or lights on the roads or, you know. Any guesses?
If it was 95, I'm going to go 70K now.
Yeah. Was that about 40, 45 miles an hour?
So it's 50 kilometers an hour, which is approximately 31 miles an hour for cars, trucks, and buses, and 40 kilometers an hour for motorcycles.
So you get to go faster if you're on the less
No.
safe vehicle.
No, you
No?
go slower on a bike.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
stupid. Yeah.
No, but you know what? Actually, what you said is correct. You get to go faster in a less safe vehicle. So in cars, trucks, and buses, you go faster.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Man.
And this is one of my favorite ones. Also in that, they said children are not allowed to ride as passengers on motorcycles.
You're possibly going this year. I'm curious to see how long it takes you to see a kid ride on the back of a motorcycle.
As soon as I won't even have to get in a vehicle or anywhere. I
was about to
step
say.
out of the airport,
Yep.
and on that main road
Yes.
going by, I guarantee you within 20 seconds going to be a
100%.
motorcycle with a kid on the back.
Yeah. Followed directly by the Nicaraguan car bomb.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
3 30-pound cylinders on the back of a motorcycle.
Yep.
Road signs may not reflect the changes yet, but the lower limits are in effect. Like, that says 75. Don't care.
But officer.
Mañana.
Yeah.
And violations, I guess they're putting in some pretty heavy fines for them.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean...
But yeah, so
Yeah.
you know, I don't know what it's gonna do. You know, they did it to reduce accidents and deaths on the highways, which I totally get. Right? It happens way more than it should down there.
Yeah. But, you know, even on that whole drive from Esteli to San Juan, we saw one accident.
Yeah.
And that was that silver Lexus that got sideswiped by the truck.
Yep. That was a bad accident. But
That was pretty
Well,
bad.
yeah.
so this article came out, I think when was this? The end of July 2025. So like a little after, I don't know, month and a half, 2 months after that went into effect. And it's from Havana Times, and it says the speed limit decree by the government in June has led to higher fuel consumption, more bribes to police officers, and up to 4 hours extra time needed to cross the country.
Jeez.
More
Yep.
bribes to police officers.
Yeah, because there's a big police presence now. So instead of getting a ticket, you just line their pocket and you're good to go.
You're still paying a fine.
And then increased fuel usage, which is pretty funny. And it's due to the difficulty of keeping a constant speed and moving in between gears on a motorcycle.
That tracks. I mean, stop and go traffic on a bike.
Well,
is
that
just a pain in
31
the ass.
miles an hour is that weird speed. It's like too fast for second, not fast enough for third.
Yeah.
I
Granted,
can,
pretty much everything they have down there is like 250 or smaller. So
I can definitely see the allure to having the motorcycle there because a few times there was like a pretty good traffic jam and shit. And the motorcycles were just like, this isn't my problem. You're scooting around
Yeah.
on the shoulder and stuff like that. Like,
oh yeah.
is it safe? No. Is it faster? 100%. So I can definitely see the allure if you're a native there.
Well, and a barrier to entry on owning a vehicle down there is much lower for a motorcycle too.
It's also
Oh
true.
man,
Uh-oh.
this data is crazy. It says accidents continue with no reduction. There have been 5,639 documented traffic accidents in the country since the speed limit order was put in place. The totals are essentially unchanged from the previous weekly average of 1,122.
Jeez.
1,100 accidents a fucking week.
That's insane. The number of fatal accidents has continued unabated. According to the National Police data, 52 people were killed in traffic accidents in Nicaragua in the last 5 weeks. That's an average of 1.5 a day.
Damn.
The measure did greatly increase the number of arrests of drunk drivers or for driving without a license. These plus increase in the number of suspended licenses, 3,335 in this period, meant an increase in the fines charged. There were a total of 1,013 arrests with 405 drivers taken in for driving drunk, up from 345 the month previous. Well, they're going slower now.
Yeah,
They sure are.
Takes them a lot longer to get home.
They sure are. Man.
I'd be curious how that's. Well, no. There's no economy of scale to compare that to like states to the states.
They're increasing between 18 and 20% year over year in accidents.
Man. That's nuts. Like,
That's insane. Yeah, so we'll see. I might be going down there next month. Just waiting on some dates and some information. And if that happens, that drive from Managua to Esteli is going to be interesting.
That is true.
yeah, because that was what 3 hours from Managua to Esteli at that point.
Something like, here, let me Google it and see what it does now.
See what it tells us now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. So I want to say it was like 3.5, but I don't really remember.
Yeah.
3 hours, 13 minutes is what it says right now. I think it was like 2.5. I can't remember. I still think it was hilarious. I thought the fuel gauge on our vehicle was broke.
Yeah.
Nope, it just didn't use that much fuel.
Yep.
Yeah.
The old Hilux, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Turbo diesel.
Turbo
That was
diesel
nice.
Hilux.
Hell yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to seeing what those new Toyota mini trucks put down once they release them here stateside.
So I was looking those up.
Yeah.
And they are like just over 10 feet long.
Yeah. Yeah, like a key truck.
Well, so like a long bed pickup, that bed is 8 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like, I don't know if I'll be able to fit in one.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That is true.
That's fair.
And I can only imagine, like, I know what happens when a mini or a smart car gets in an accident.
Yep.
At least those had some safety measures put in place. These ones, I think, don't have any.
Yeah. It's just it's like swimming at a public pool. Drive at your own risk. Like,
Well, I mean, when it comes to that, I think one can adopt the EOD mentality though. 'Cause if it all goes to shit, it's not your problem anymore.
that is true. Just make sure you hit whatever you hit hard enough. All of a sudden, I don't care anymore.
It's a horsepower and torque argument, right?
Very true.
You familiar with that one, Justin?
Horsepower and torque.
Yeah.
What's
Horsepower is how fast you hit the wall. Torque's
Oh.
how far you take it.
Hey. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Dave, we had a listener take your advice on the last episode. Steve commented and said, "I took Dave's advice and ordered Lanceros last redacted day. A damn
Yeah.
delicious stick."
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
The Lanceros are definitely a overlooked Vitola in all the blends, but you smoke one of them and you're like, oh, I get it now. I get it.
Yeah. You'll run a fairly good risk of ruining the first one because it's an entirely different smoking strategy. Being such a small ring gauge, you can't pull on it as hard as you would like a standard 52 or a 50 or something along those lines. But the flavors are just so much more pronounced in the smaller ring gauges like that. Yeah.
The nice thing is it also lands in like that like shorter time frame smoke too. So it's like if you're normally a larger ring gauge smoker like a Gordo or something, and
Yeah.
you're like, I don't want to burn one of those. You can grab a Lancero, and it like Dave said, totally changes the flavor profile, and you can you kill just a little bit less time. But
Yeah.
I call them a nerd cigar.
that's fucking that is true.
Well, the only people that smoke them, outside of the guys, you know, like the one who just tried,
Mm-hmm.
there's a very select few people that thoroughly enjoy Lanceros.
Yes.
I love them. Every time I walk into a cigar lounge, does that mean I buy them? Nope.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So, you know, when we did all of our Lanceros back in the day, it was, you know, well, everybody keeps asking, hey, you going to do Lancero? You going to do
Yeah.
Lancero? And I'm like, so we did one. Well, everybody wants one, but nobody wants to buy one.
Mm.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying it like in a bad way, like, oh my God. No, it's just it's a hard fact with that size in this industry.
Yeah.
You know, PCA, I believe it was, just put out some data from some surveys they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Their member survey.
Yep, and I don't even know if Lanceros they weren't on the list.
They weren't. They weren't listed
They weren't
on
even
the top
a fraction
sellers.
of percentage
Yeah.
of cigar sales.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it was Toro, Robusto, 660,
I think Corona was
Corona.
Yeah.
Corona and the Gordita.
Yeah.
The 4x60 was on there, but the 4x60 was like 0.48%, which basically means like maybe two people said that they sell those that those were the most popular sizes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say I can do some rough math, but it's very skewed
Yeah.
based on the number of cigars imported last year. But those are everything.
Yeah.
Including machine rolled, I believe.
I remember seeing that piece of the article come out
Yeah.
and seeing Coronas up there. I was just like, hell yeah, because that's my personal.
Corona's up there. It was
Yeah.
less than 0.5%.
But it was on the list.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yep.
Yeah, but did you
Fuck
see
yeah.
the spread from like Robusto Toro and
Oh, yeah.
Gordo to like Corona?
Well,
There
Toro
was like a 14, 18 point spread between those
Yeah.
two.
I think Toro was somewhere in like the 50s or something. And
Yeah.
then Robusto
Yeah, I mean,
was like
it's-
20, 30. And so it's like,
The 5 and 6 inch by 50, 52 ring gauge is by and large the most popular size.
yeah. It's going to be hard to beat that one.
Well, it's just part of it falls back to the this is what I've always smoked thing.
Yeah.
So like, and it's funny too because people will come in, they're like, "Oh, I smoked this.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried it in the Corona?" No, I don't really want to try it in the Corona. It's like you smoke a 52 ring gauge and you don't want to try a Corona, which is a 48.
Mm-hmm.
And why not?
Yeah.
Well, this is just what I've always smoked. All right, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not going to browbeat anybody into it. I'm not going to push anybody into buying anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to suggest that you broaden your horizons.
Yeah.
Why? Because there are so many different cigars out there right now that if you started at age 21, you could smoke a different cigar every day and probably not smoke them all before you die.
Right. Okay. So I just pulled that article up, so that way
Yeah.
we can do actual. So it was Toro 6x50, and that was 78%. Gordo 660 is 11%. Robusto 5x50 8%. Gordito 4.5 by 60 0.83%. Corona is 0.75%, and that was it. So they just did the top 5. Well, yeah.
Be curious what like the rest of the sizes, Well,
they're less than 0.5%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah.
But I mean, I'm guilty of it. If I walk in and I see a cigar, I'm like, ooh, and then there's multiple sizes for that one facing.
Mm-hmm.
99% of the time, I'm grabbing a Toro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you just push the easy button.
Unless there's a
You know?
Corona sitting there, but that's just me
Yeah.
personally.
That's my go-to. Anything like
Yeah.
I'll like almost like skip over something if they don't have a Corona. Like that's
Yeah.
like my go-to fucking sweet
Yeah.
spot. So I haven't smoked in a while because I've got so many backlogs from picture cigars that are Toros. Like,
Yeah.
but I need to pull one out of the humidor. And
Well, and we
smoke
loaded you up too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep, I'm slowly making my way through those still, but.
yeah, it's kind of nice when I'm out back doing shipping and you come in the morning and you walk by and you're smoking a cigar because you grab one to bring on the drive in.
I've been trying to be better.
Yeah.
My tabletop humidor is pretty full, so I'm like trying to make some room for it. So been trying to burn those down and everything. And
I have an R40 in my office, and I think I'm down to like 2 or 3 cigars in it. But usually, like I'll try and grab 4 or 5 sticks out of my smoking humidor at home
yeah,
and bring those in, and I'll put them in that.
mm-hmm.
Because I mean, let's face it, I can smoke our cigars any day of the week.
Yep.
I still like to smoke other people's cigars too.
Yeah,
You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, that's part of the fun of this hobby.
yeah.
Oh man, sorry, I'm just going through some stuff, and I overlooked this at first. It's an article on Half Wheel about Cuba's Festival del Habanos, 26 XXVI.
Yeah.
Will be postponed, in quotes. I'm just going to read it because it's one paragraph, and it's way better. Brooks has a way with words a lot better than I do. So I'm just going to use Brooks's words here. So I'm just quoting Half Wheel. After weeks of speculation, Habano's essay, quote, postponed, the Festival del Habano, I think 26. They're fucking Roman
Yes.
numerals. Just use numbers, guys. The first time that this has happened since the event debuted in 1999. The postponed is in quotes for a pretty obvious reason. The de facto U.S. oil blockade has pushed the situation on the ground in Cuba, which was already fairly precarious, to the brink, causing massive blackouts, the closure of non-essential businesses, and multiple airlines canceling flights to the island, all of which and not exactly conducive to holding a huge festival that is dependent on international travelers. As Brooks says, I don't know if this spells the end of the festival forever, the end of the country's communist government, or the end of Cuban cigars in general. But whatever happens, the outlook for the people still living on the island, some of whom I have called friends for more than a decade, is bleak. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it. I knew all the stuff that's going on in the Caribbean, especially with Venezuela and the oil blockade and all that. I know it impacted Cuba, but I didn't know to that extent where there's like blackouts and all that stuff going on.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I mean, they have to import all energy
Well,
essentially.
everything. Well, yeah. I just 2 things that I have never understood about places that have access to the ocean. Wave-powered power, it never stops.
Yep.
And if it does, it's for a couple hours during the day. And desalinization. Like, you're always going to have water if you figure that out. And you're always going to have power because the ocean always moves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Some days you might have more or less power than the other days, but it is what it is. But yeah. Or what I think Cuba should have really done is got a really long extension cord and plugged it in Key West and just ran it underwater.
I like this idea, John. I like it. Sounds like you need to put a suit and tie on and go run for government office in Cuba, John.
It's not Key West's power; it's our power.
Yeah. Right? No, I think that would have been a solid solution. I don't know why anybody didn't think of that.
Fucking
I mean, they do it with the
genius.
internet.
That is true.
Yeah, if any of you guys out there are listening, the internet doesn't magically just go from the United States to Europe. There are, at this point, probably thousands of underwater cables that transmit data and information all across the world.
One's actually called the transatlantic cable.
Yeah. Very unique name. And
boy.
some Eastern European countries, not naming any names, Russia, has been doing their best to damage these over the years. which is pretty interesting. But I haven't had the opportunity yet to see one underwater while I'm diving. Then again, I don't dive in many places where that would be prevalent. I'll have to do some research on Roatan because it's an island.
That's true. There's
There's got to be a cable somewhere.
Yep.
Because I know there's none above the water.
Yeah. Have you ever dove any old like oil rigs or something?
Mm-mm.
I was listening to a Steve Ranella interview, and he was talking about how there's a bunch of like abandoned oil rigs,
Yep.
and like there's like conservation groups that want them pulled out, and then there's also like shipping, like part of the shipping industry wants them pulled out because they'll either sink down and they become like a hazard for,
Yeah.
but they also are a great haven. That's where like all the fish hang
They're
out.
a giant ecosystem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's like this like
So
battle of good and evil.
Right. What they've done a lot in the Gulf off here, like off the coast of Texas, is they've actually took out the majority of the rigs that were down there. But by taking them out, it's not like there's nothing left.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Yeah.
they cut off that structure and they leave however many feet. Typically, I don't know. It's got to be probably 15, 20 feet at the bottom of structure. And
Yeah.
They just cut it off and remove everything you can see above it.
Wow.
So essentially, a boat, even something in a
deep draft
container ship or something like that, can pass over it without having any issues because they cut it off deep enough. But that structure that's on the bottom still allows for that ecosystem.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people that are really pissed when they cut them all down because you couldn't just visually see, oh, hey, there's an old oil rig, so let's go out there and fish.
Mm-hmm.
And if they didn't have them saved in their GPS or their nav systems, then you didn't know where these rigs were, right? It's not like there's like a sign in the middle of the ocean.
Used to be an oil rig here.
Right. So I know some friends that have had, they've been fishing the Gulf for, 40 years. And, their nav systems, I mean, they're worth gold, right? Because they have all the rigs marked, even though they're not there anymore.
Yep.
So now what you can do is, especially with today's technology, you find where that mark is and you just get, up current from it and then dial in your fish finder and then just drift over that structure. And you can be like, oh, no fish, and then just go to the next one. You don't even have to try to fish it. And if you drift over and you see, okay, fish, drop your lines.
Yeah.
We're at X amount of feet. Careful for the structure. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
But yeah, so now diving rigs, I think it would be super cool. Sometimes you have bad visibility. You always have the chance when you're diving around structures to get tangled in something or snagged. I've heard some horror stories of guys, and even some stories of guys that are passing away from spearfishing on rigs. And like one of them, it wasn't a free diver, he was scuba, and he had his spearfishing gun clipped to his gear, and which, in my opinion, isn't something that you should do. Right? That gear is not worth your life. So if something happens, you just let go of your gear. You're still alive. Whatever. I can go buy another, spearfishing rod or spear. But anyways, so I guess he shot this massive fish, and this thing just dove, and it took him with him.
Oh.
And that was it.
Oh.
And then it swam around and got tangled up and stuff, and yeah. But it's like, I think it'd be cool as shit to dive a rig just because of the life that's there. Some of them, I mean, there's a lot of sharks. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, sharks are going to go where the food is.
Mm-hmm. Sharks are a sign of a healthy ecosystem.
Yeah.
So if there's sharks, that means things are good. If there's no sharks, that means things aren't good. And hopefully someday they ban shark fishing because you don't eat them.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
Huh.
So it's typically catch and release,
Yeah.
right? And so all these guys that are shore fishing for sharks, are you going to stick your hand in a shark's mouth to pull that hook? So you're just going to cut the line, and chances are that shark has, he might live, he might not.
Yeah.
But either way, there's a hook stuck in it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I understand like the thrill of the fight and everything like that and whatnot. And, sharks have a a reputation, for lack of better words.
Yeah, but I got my ass whipped by a lingcod.
Yep.
And we took one of them home and made tacos.
We did, and they were delicious. I'm not against fishing at all. I love
Yeah.
fishing. It's great. And I usually
it's just-
eat everything that I catch.
Fish for the thing that you're going to eat.
And I've caught sharks before. And I've done everything in my power to make sure that the hook was removed.
Yeah.
Because it was accidental. It wasn't like, oh, I'm on purpose trying to get sharks. Like, no, I'm fishing for something else, and you get it up to the surface. You're like, oh, that's a little baby shark.
Yep.
Hey, bud, come here. Let me get that hook back. But yeah, so I know some places have already restricted it, essentially made it illegal in certain counties or states. I think Florida just passed something about that. But I know it's very popular here in Texas. But it'd sure be cool if they stopped doing that and allowed the ecosystems to get really healthy again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, the only structures that I've dove, no rigs, just shipwrecks and piers and that kind of shit. Super fun. All
I was going to say, because you did get a chance to dive some shipwrecks up in Michigan, right?
Yeah, that's all we did the whole
Yeah.
time, except for when we were in the pool. And I use pool lightly because it's 600,000 gallons.
Jeez.
Yeah. Like my pool is 18,000.
It's an indoor lake.
It used to be the slurry tank for a paper mill
What's a slurry tank?
where they mix all the shit together before they turn it into paper.
Ah.
Yep. So it's all like pulp and water and whatnot. And so they emptied it, sealed it, and then it was crystal clear. Well, until we kicked up all the shit on the bottom. And then it was not. And then we had to let it settle, and then it was crystal clear the next day. But yeah, no, it was really cool. It has a rough bottom, so if they actually smooth the bottom out, they'd be able to clean it and not have it get so silty.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's huge. I think it was 18 feet at the bottom in the center.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, there's at the NOAA facility in Alpena, Michigan, and they would do their. They also host their UAV, the underwater remote vehicles. It's a worldwide competition. They host it there in that tank.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Y'all got to like build your own there, didn't y'all?
we did. Well, they were like kits that we had to put together and build. But either way, it was super cool to do it. And then it has a little remote. Then so you have like up and down and like left and right and forward and back.
Hell yeah.
And like 3 toggle switches. And so you're like trying to toggle these things and pilot it around. But you have like it was made out of PVC and some weights and a couple, like servo motors and like little fans. And so you had like PVC that went, 2 pieces that went straight out, and then they both connected in the center, and it had like one piece that came straight off the end of that. And it was like a little like unicorn, thing that you could pick stuff up with.
That's awesome.
And so then like they threw in a bunch of like rings and random stuff, and they're like, now go pick it up. And like, it's interesting to try to do it underwater from the surface, because there's a slight little delay there when you're getting close. You're like, oh, I got it, and you're like, when you go right by, you're like, oh shit.
Do we want to talk a little bit about the cigar science project we've been working on the last couple weeks?
Yep. So we last year we did a video, end of last year. Can you smoke a ruined cigar? So right now we're in the process of recording. Can you save a cigar? I don't know if that's what it's going to be called or not, but that's what we're trying to do.
The working title.
Yeah. And so we have, after we released that last video, we got some comments. And shortly after that, I went and grabbed some cigars and threw them under the back seat of my truck on purpose and left them there for about 4 months. So in the process of doing that, we had all kinds of different temperatures. I think it went from 100 degrees down to freezing single digits in the course of those 4 months.
Yeah.
But now I think we started at the beginning or last week. So we pulled them all out. We checked the humidity levels of the cigars. Smoked one. Actually, I smoked a couple just to see how they went. And then we stuck them in our big humidor for a week, which is kept at, as close to 70 as we can get it. I think this morning when we looked, it was 68 degrees and 71% humidity.
Yeah.
Totally acceptable. And so we measured them again to see the change in humidity level. And I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag on that one. You guys are going to have to wait till this video drops because it's super cool. Definitely not what I expected. Not at all. Actually, from the beginning, when we pulled them out and we measured them, there's 3 different blends, and they all measured differently. They all came out of the same humidor at the same time. They've been in there long enough where everything's, leveled out. And they were in the same spot in my truck. Nothing different between any of them, and they were drastically different data. And even on week 1, when we measured everything, it was different. Not really what I expected.
Yeah.
It's very surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Excited for that one to come out.
Yeah, so we're going to put some micro content of that out on the social media platforms once it's ready. And then it's going to be a long form video. There's no way we could take all that data over however many weeks it's going to take for these cigars to come back to, the proper level, humidity levels. No way we can do any of that and then get it out in under, 2 minutes.
No, yeah.
No way.
No.
So it's probably going to be a 15-minute plus or minus 10-minute video. Probably more towards the plus side. I turn into a talker sometimes.
I'm going to be brushing some of the rust off of my video editing skills for the long stuff.
Yeah.
So basically what we're saying is if you want to see all of this, you need to like, share, and subscribe to all of our social media platforms so you can keep track of this as we release it.
Yeah. The main, the long form edit of this is going to be on YouTube.
Yep.
And so make sure you're following Warfighter Tobacco on YouTube. And then if you're listening to this podcast, go follow the Warfighter podcast on YouTube and on social medias. We put up micro content for this on that.
Yeah, because almost half of you that are listening aren't subscribed, and you're slacking.
Yeah, we have a lot of listeners that aren't following our platforms, which awesome. Hey guys, you're listening. That's all that counts.
Yeah.
If you subscribe, I think I said it in the last episode, it helps us unlock some features that we're able to use that gives us the ability to give you guys a better experience. So that's it. No, I wish they paid us, but we do cigars, so
Ain't happening.
Yep. I have a very unique pairing today.
Yeah.
I'm smoking that Sumatra and drinking a Coke Zero.
Yeah.
I think this might be the first Coke Zero I've smoked in this building. I'm just going to stop. Wow.
I'm smoking a Topo Chico with a twist of lime and drinking a Redacted.
Yeah, this cigar drinks amazing. God.
I still remember and still tell the story to this day when you and I were sitting at the bar at Cigars up in Nebraska. And I think you were drinking a Jameson.
Yeah.
And it was the last pour out of the bottle. So you switched
to
Florida Caña rum.
Yep.
And you took a drink of the Florida Caña and you stopped. And you just stared at it for a second. Then
No, I took a drag of the cigar. I took a sip and I took a drag of the cigar.
Yeah.
And then I stopped. I froze. Like my brain was short circuited. It was like, well, how did that just...
Yeah.
I mean, it changed everything about that cigar.
And you didn't do anything to fully cleanse your palate or anything, any sneaky tricks or anything like that. It was just switching from one drink to the next drink. And it changed the flavor profile of the cigar.
It was insane. I knew it always happened, but I think that might have been the first time that I not knowingly did it.
Yeah, you got to like,
And it was so drastic,
Yeah.
right? Going from Irish whiskey to, a sweet rum.
yeah,
Big difference.
yeah.
But yeah, that was awesome. So, for you guys that are listening, if you want to give that a shot, it's a pretty cool experience.
Yeah.
Pour two very opposite tasting beverages, and it doesn't have to be alcoholic.
Yeah, I do it with craft sodas.
And it will change that experience that you have with that cigar.
We had a comment on one of the recent Garrison breakdown clips of someone that was appreciative that we mentioned like a craft soda is appearing because not everyone partakes in the alcohol.
I saw that. It was
Katie, I don't think she listens
Yes.
to this, but she's been a Warfighter smoker like forever. But yeah, craft sodas, chocolate milk,
Yeah.
root beer.
My favorite is a Burger King chocolate shake
Mm-hmm.
and the 50 Garrison, the Oscuro Maduro.
Mm-hmm.
Because the chocolate will just that shake. I don't know what it is. It's probably all the various chemicals that Burger King puts in it, but it changes and just that Oscuro it's phenomenal.
Oh, please tell me that didn't break.
Looks like it's still in one piece.
Poof.
I was like, this thing's about to blow up. At least it's on camera.
This is how episode 110 ends.
Oh, it did. Damn it.
Ah.
Oh well. Super glue to the rescue.
Yep. We got plenty.
In the beginning of this, we were talking about how fires start.
Yep.
We almost just found out.
Oh, that would have been a short-lived fire, though. Thankfully.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, poof. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know how long we've been doing this thing because I don't have a timer anymore.
Yeah. We're just kind of tooling along with it.
Long enough, fellas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
this thing
okay,
up,
cool.
yeah.
we got to. Yeah.
We've hit our quota.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's go pull people over.
No, that's when we need to hit our quota.
I know, right? Well, thank you guys for tuning in for another amazing Warfighter Tobacco episode. We're getting there, guys.
Yeah.
We actually talked about a whole bunch of stuff in
We
this
did
one.
cover it.
You know, we actually, I think it was on the Cartel. We did get a brief tour in photograph of someone's outdoor smoking setup.
Oh yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember who it was, but,
No, but
he chimed in on all three of us.
He took an ice fishing tent
Yeah.
and he set it up, and he's like, I can fit. What did he say? 3 people smoking
Or 2 people ice fishing.
and smoking.
And smoking. But he said that if he packs the legs with snow and keeps the buddy heater on, he can get it to like 80 degrees in there while he's smoking. Yep. He's got a little projector, so he can watch Netflix while he's in there smoking. It's seriously cool.
Yeah. I mean, like that guy, I think he had it set up in his driveway.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. He said setup and takedowns like 5 minutes
Yep,
piece.
that's the way to do it. Staying warm out there. He said if he leaves it open overnight, it airs out.
Yeah.
And no smell or anything.
He had a projector in there and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was super cool.
Yeah.
Yep. I've seen it before, but not quite like that one. Right. I've seen the ones that's like a little one-man tent.
Yep.
And
Oh, yeah.
you're just hotboxing the
Like
shit
my
out of it.
like my sauna.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Just like that.
Yeah. No.
But yeah.
Yeah, he didn't do it in the Borat voice though, so he doesn't get a 6-pack sampler. But it's still seriously cool, man.
Yep.
He actually was super cool and in the comments threw up a picture of him watching the Warfighter Tobacco podcast in his smoking tent.
Oh,
that's
fuck
awesome.
yeah.
He said our chairs look much more comfortable.
Especially these new ones.
Yeah.
That's
They
true.
don't suck. But yeah, on that note, guys, warfightertobacco.com for all your smoky treat needs. March 1st is coming up, so don't forget that for our redacted day. We should have some cigars trickling in here by the end of the month. So some of the stuff that we've been out of stock on for a little while is going to be back in stock. As soon as we get that, we're going to be letting the world know.
Oh, yeah.
In all the different ways that we can. Email, social media, here on the podcast. So stay tuned. We have a metric shit ton of cigars showing up. We have a whole bunch of accessories are going to start coming in after that. And then we get the trade show, which is the launch of 2 new cigars.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys have the opportunity to get some of those as well.
Yes.
So as we get closer with those, we'll talk more about those blends. And we'll talk about the 5th edition Victory that's coming out. And then after the show, we're going to have a whole bunch of information probably on shops and events and all that fun stuff. So in between that now and then, if you guys have any questions, drop a comment, send us an email, smoke signal, whoever you want. We'll answer it here and to the best of our abilities. Other than that, I know here in San Antonio, it's 78 degrees today, so fucking get outside and smoke. And if you're up somewhere north and you don't have one of those ice fishing tents, then go find your local lounge and go inside and smoke. It's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Bye, guys.
Toodles.